Girl, China really said, baby girl, don't worry about them tariffs. We got you. At least the regular folks. Billionaires, good luck.
Swear to God, that's what China said. She said, don't worry, we got you.
How you doing?
God have mercy upon us.
Hey, yo, check this out. I've been checking the news saying that all of the luxury brands that you guys know and that I know of are actually a scam, because all of the products were actually not made in the countries that we're saying they were made of, and all of the products are actually coming from China. Let's check it out.
They're the videos seen by millions of Americans.
Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer.
That seem too good to be true.
We have like thousands of them in stock.
TikTokers claiming to work at Chinese factories that make high-end products and offering to sell them directly to Americans for much, much cheaper. The goods range from Birkenstocks.
So that's it. We just need to get the websites and we are good to go. We are golden, guys. We can literally get Louis Vuittons for $10.
$10.
To Nike sneakers.
$10 for Nikes.
Boss, I'm a Nike shoes wholesale factory in China.
And Lululemon workout clothing.
And Lululemon.
Behind Lululemon.
One video garnering 11.9 million views.
Here in these two factories, you can get them.
That is literally a total hit on all of those brands. We're talking about Lululemon, we're talking about Nikes, literally all of those products are getting made for cheap change and they are selling it to us over here for at least $100, $200, $300, $400, $1,000. And everybody is so happy about paying those kind of prices, because paying those prices sets up a standard when people see you, when people see you with a kind of bag, with some kind of shoes or whatever, it sets up a kind of standard. Oh my God, he must have paid that much, or she must have paid that much for that bag. But hey, now we discovered that the Chinese are actually saying, yeah, all of those products, we make them actually over here. And when they ship them out to their companies, for example, Lululemon, they just stamp their brand on top of it and the price directly goes up by magic. I'm telling you, it is the biggest scam reveal of 2025.
For around $5 to $6.
$5 to $6.
Lululemon says the claims made in the videos are not true. Though the company says it manufactures about 3% of its finished goods in China, a spokesperson telling NBC News, Lululemon does not work with the manufacturers identified in the online videos, and we urge consumers to be aware of potentially counterfeit products and misinformation. Authentic Lululemon products are only available for purchase at our Lululemon store locations, registered Lululemon e-commerce sites, and select authorized and specialty stores.
So literally they are just saying, yeah, the only real ones are the one you buy from us. And they're telling you, oh, we don't work with the people you saw in the videos. Yeah, you don't work with the people in the videos, but you work with the people next to the videos and you work with them and they ship that shit to you. And then you pretend, oh yeah, no, it's the real ones that are coming from us. No, they're coming from a factory, all deep down in China.
And if you were tempted by that super cheap Louis Vuitton handbag,
Louis Vuitton has many Chinese suppliers, but they just don't admit it.
Know that the company has long maintained its products are made only in Europe and the United States, as it currently states on its website. Louis Vuitton, Nike, and Birkenstock have not responded to our request.
Of course, they will not respond to Louis Vuitton will not respond.
Is the authenticity of the products, the quality of it.
Professor Shen Lu, whose research focuses on the global apparel industry, including international trade policy, says even if the factory did produce that hot handbag you want, they likely would not be licensed to sell it outside of its contract with the brand you know.
To sell it because they don't have
only control.
Yeah, because they don't have the rights on them, but
where they source their products, but also they control where consumers can buy their products.
Shen encourages shoppers to beware of the context in which these misleading offers have surfaced. They come amid an onslaught of memes, many of them appearing to be AI.
I don't know if you saw all of the memes about the AI-generated videos about Americans working in the industries again and all of that. China disrespected Americans so bad on those videos. It was crazy.
Generated coming out of Chinese social media as the trade war rages on. From this video mocking the idea of Americans, or at least a caricature of Americans doing low-wage factory work, to this one that says the cards the U.S. is playing were made in China. And even the Chinese embassy based in D.C. blasting everything from American transportation to high price tags. This trade war turned internet beef doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon.
And Camila joins us now. I mean, look, I love a sale. We all love a deal. Is there any way for consumers to fact check specific TikToks if they're claiming to be suppliers for some favorite brand of ours?
There is, and they should, because Lululemon, for example, has a list of all of their suppliers online, and it shows who they are, what exactly they do, and where they operate. So if you have any doubts, you should check the Lululemon website or any brand that you're trying to shop for and try to fact check yourself, because you might be able to do just that. If you have any doubts, you keep checking the internet, because the reality is that if it looks too good to be true, Ellison, it probably is.
Yeah, that is always seems to be true, right?
That is so goddamn true. When the offer is way too good to be true, don't even trust it, guys. Because if it's too good to be true, that's because it is too good to be true. And when you see an offer for like an iPhone for $10, yeah, you can get it shipped out right now. It's never gonna be $10. I am telling you. It's just like when you go to a Burger King or a Taco Bell or something, you see the offer for like $4 or $5 and you end up paying 10. You go like, I don't understand what happened, but hey, let's move it on.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that.
I'm so confused, because Hermes clearly purports that all of their bags are handmade in France and their watches are made in Switzerland. In their verbiage, there is no room for confusion about where their products are manufactured. There's no room for China. But in the beginning of that video, that nice Chinese man is clearly standing in front of what appear to be Hermes bags.
In light of the tariff.
Yeah, that's what happened. In light of the tariffs. That's why we get to see all of these videos of these Chinese corporations retaliating themselves against the world in a way, because literally they got slapped with like what, 145% tariff on them, basically on all of their goods. So for example, if you're looking to buy just a regular camera, the one I'm shooting from, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I also made a video about it in one of my other channels. Go check it out. But just for the price of this one, the price literally doubled from $620 to $1,225. So literally just in tariff, you can see that people pay the price.
Tariff hikes introduced by President Donald Trump. A scandal is erupting across social media.
And basically, these companies, these Chinese companies are doing that to kind of set up what's actually the reality. And in here, they're saying that literally all of those luxury brands, or close to all of them, well, 80% of all of their goods are actually made in China. So all of that cheap shit, yeah, it's China.
Media platforms, particularly TikTok, where several Chinese TikTok accounts, including what appears to be manufacturers themselves, are exposing luxury brands for allegedly rebranding Chinese manufactured goods as European made. These revelations are shaking consumer trust and prompting a reevaluation of what made in Italy or made in France truly signifies. Several of these videos detail with almost surgical precision how certain luxury items that claim to be handcrafted in Europe are, in fact, mass-produced in Chinese factories. Side-by-side comparisons, identical stitching patterns, fabric textures, hardware, and even packaging methods, all of them showcased for the world to see.
Do you recognize this bag? Of course you do. From some boutique.
That's a Birkin, I think.
LA28 made of ostrich leather in the Hermes boutique. It
No,
costs
it's a
around
Hermes.
$20,000. But if you get it from an outside factory, you can get it for less than 1/20th of that price.
So literally instead of $20,000, we're talking about $100 or something like that. What a freaking scam.
Wholesalers, it's 2024 and you still don't know who are the suppliers behind Dior. The knitwears and cardigans are from Beyond Garments.
Oh my goodness.
So Beyond Garments is also the supplier behind many luxury brands from America and Europe, like Sandra, Maj, Versace.
Versace.
Second,
Oh
most of the Dior's products are actually produced by Taiho Group, which is also the supplier behind Lancome and Loewe. Third, 24-hour packaging technology from Shenzhen provide exquisite packaging and bags for Dior. Of course, Dior has their own factories in many countries, supplies different products for them. If you want to know more about this part of the information, tell me in the comment section so I'll prepare for my next videos. I'm Luna, follow me for more China sourcing tips.
So literally, you got their website, you can get all of the products. So we'll see. Maybe I will test it. I will test it for you guys. I will go actually on one of their websites and test and see one of their products, but not promising that it will be for now, because the price of tariffs currently, I mean, it's hitting pretty hard.
You know who is producing high quality accessories for those luxury brands like Chanel, Estee Lauder, L'Oreal? You're saying you're the supplier behind all those beauty accessories for those big luxury brands? La Brea, MAC, Chanel, Bobbi Brown, and even Rosewood Hotel.
Yeah, all of their luxury brands. All of them.
Yeah, the comb like 20,000.
And literally what I feel like, China is not just the manufacturers of mostly all of the luxury brands. I feel like China became the manufacturer of the world in almost everything. When you see the amount of clothes that are being made, when you see, I was literally checking yesterday a video about a village in China where all of the people that live there also work for one only company that's called Shein. And when you see how many hours of work and how much work they actually do compared to them, we are nothing.
Look at this, like, now show me your factory, show me the production line.
Here, this is our cutting room. So you can see the machine, here collaborate, and here comes there.
Does Lululemon have OEM factories in China? Of course, yes. Xianglong Apparel, Hongqi Sheng Clothing. Both of them are in Yiwu City. They supply a lot of yoga suits with good materials and high quality.
$5 to $10.
But the cost is only $5 to $10. They also make products for other famous brands like Fila and UA. If you want to source clothes with good quality and low prices, contact me. I will help you.
But here's the real kicker. For decades, especially in Western and globalized consumer cultures, we've been conditioned to believe that made in China equals cheap, disposable, and even fake, while made in Italy, made in France, or made in Switzerland has been marketed as a mark of prestige, of quality craftsmanship, of exclusivity. That shiny European tag was never just a label, it was a passport into elite social circles, a silent flex at dinner parties, and a badge of success on Instagram. But what happens when the so-called Italian luxury bag you saved months, or even years, to buy was actually sewn, stitched, and manufactured in a factory in China, only to be shipped to Europe for a minor finishing touch, and then slapped with...
Literally, they just slapped that price tag on it, and they call it, yes, that's our brand, yes, it has been made over here, yes. Goddamn scammers. They're literally just looking to make a quick buck. But not just a quick buck. They are literally looking to make the biggest bucks ever. Because even when you think about it, one of the richest men in the world, and most powerful too, he was literally the most richest man up to like 2020 or something like that, before Elon Musk. That's the director of all of the Louis Vuitton chain with a lot more luxury brands. I think his name is Bernard Arnault, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure about his name, but basically he's the director of all of that Louis Vuitton brand and many more luxury brands. And literally one of the most richest with more than $100 billion. Can you believe it? From making stuff like this. Oh yeah, made in China, but then we tell you that it's actually made in France or in Italy or in Europe or whatever. Make a lot of money out of you. I mean, come on.
The Made in Italy label? The deception isn't just about the product. It's about the dream you were sold. It's the kind of revelation that makes you stop and question. Was it ever really worth it? Is it still?
Totally not worth it. I don't see why it's worth it.
The modern world, particularly social media, places on us to wear luxury brands. Almost as if it's a prerequisite for existing, for being seen, for being respected. As though without these logos stitched across your chest or embossed onto your handbag, you're invisible. when the reality is you could buy a high-quality, beautifully crafted bag, minus the logo, for a fraction of the price, live a minimalist and intentional lifestyle, and save yourself both financial stress and emotional emptiness in a world obsessed with capitalism and overconsumption.
How to buy Givenchy, Chanel, Dior cosmetics for $10? Just remove the logo. Buy directly from manufacturing factories of these brands.
Literally, see, she's telling you how to do it.
42% of the world. Close your eyes if your Givenchy, Chanel, Dior cosmetics say made in China. Does it feel cheap? No, this is the truth about luxury goods.
Yeah, literally no luxury logo, and that's what people are paying for. Fucking logo.
You can go directly to Guangzhou, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Hangzhou, Ningbo, Zhejiang, Nanjing, and other places in China to buy offline.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging, and that way the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else like leathers, zippers, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world.
Well, thank you for bringing us to the real world.
Those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer, and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
So literally in the real world, what he's talking about is that there is no logo whatsoever in the bag, and the bag is pretty much the same as another luxury bag. There's nothing that changes except from that logo. So that's what he's saying. You can go and buy yourself one of those bags, but the price is going to be way less, and you're going to be just missing the logo, but doesn't change from the fact that it's a good bag.
In the same breath, we can't ignore how social media, the same machine that fuels this pressure, is now turning into the whistleblower. Platforms like TikTok have become the digital courtroom where luxury brands are being tried and convicted in real time. Several of these Chinese TikTok accounts are peeling back the curtain, showing the world what really goes on behind those luxury labels. And this isn't being led by journalists or influencers alone. It's people inside the supply chain, people who know what these products cost to make and where they really come from.
The bags come from China, but the leather comes from Nigeria. The bags are manufactured in China, but the leather, the exotic skins, the snake skins, the alligator, it comes from...
So literally nothing is made in Europe, nothing.
Yes, because I love that the Chinese manufacturers are coming on here and asserting that they are producing these luxury bags and luxury goods, but also Black people have a hand in that manufacturing by way of tanneries in Kano, Nigeria. So a tannery is an institution, a business in which you are converting animal products like skins, leather, suede, alligator skins, snake skins, all kinds of exotic skins into textiles so that they can be used for goods, clothing, bags. And Kano, Nigeria is headquarters, world headquarters for this practice.
I'm so glad that China is letting everyone know now, finally, that your Birkins came from China. They weren't made in the US. And when I ordered this from China, they made it after I ordered it. So it's especially made for me. It took about 6 weeks to get. But if you want to see, it's got the name. Kind of hard to see. It's got the name on there. It's a little dirty. A little smudgy, but that's okay. You got the key and the lock.
Literally same quality, same everything.
The paper on the bottom. Honestly, I need to take that off. But reason you shouldn't be able to carry a Birkin just because you can't afford $20,000 to $40,000 or more dollars.
The Chinese manufacturers woke up and chose total violence today, and I've never supported it before in my life. So in case you haven't believed it, hearing it
maybe
come out
that
of my
will get
mouth
the prices
for
down
last
of those
7
real
months, maybe
Birkins
you'll
and
hear
all.
it and believe it coming straight from them. And I was already just about to make a whole series talking about designer clothes and what they actually cost. So this will be great to amplify that. And the algorithm will already be good and boosted.
This grassroots exposure is reshaping the way consumers think about luxury, eroding long-held myths about craftsmanship and status. The same platforms that once pushed us to aspire to luxury are now pulling us back, forcing us to ask, what are we really
what
paying
are you
for?
really paying for?
Investigations
Nothing.
over the years have further confirmed what these viral videos are now broadcasting to the masses. Many luxury brands outsource production to Chinese factories, where goods are manufactured for a fraction of the cost you'd assume.
Why?
These items are then flown to Europe, where minor alterations, like adding a zipper or sewing on a handle, are enough for the product to legally wear the badge of European origin. In some cases, it's even more mind-bending. Chinese companies own or run factories based in Italy, employing mainly Chinese migrant labor, paying wages that are nowhere near what you imagine when you think of Italian craftsmanship. The product legally qualifies as made in Italy, not because of the materials or the skills behind it, but because of a technicality, a loophole in global trade law. And those same bags are then marked up, sometimes 30 or 40 times the production cost, and sold to you as luxury.
30 to 40%.
The exposure of these practices has significant implications for the luxury industry. Not only could brands face reputational damage and lawsuits, but they're also confronting a generation of consumers who are no longer as easily hypnotized by branding.
And this woman
Transparency is
so,
becoming more.
Like literally, this woman is so proud of all the money she spent on all of the goods that she's got, but literally, and she's smiling on top of that. Like, goddamn woman, you got scammed so bad. They made so much money out of you. And you're still here smiling like, God damn, you need to go and resell all of that stuff and remake some of that money because you lost a lot.
Than a buzzword. It's becoming a demand. And if brands don't meet that demand, the court of public opinion will continue to hand out harsh verdicts. And here's the real consumer dilemma.
Oh,
what do you do with this knowledge?
Oh, that is another criteria. When somebody tells you, oh, that this product is cute, tell you they're gonna buy it at some point.
When the veil is lifted, when the branding spells are broken, what's left? Do you still want the bag? Or were you only ever buying the illusion of status, a little badge to signal to the world that you've made it? Because the truth is, luxury brands rely on that illusion. They rely on consumers placing blind faith in labels, on people assuming that high price equals high quality.
Yeah, everybody's trying to believe into the illusion that luxury comes from the brand. But what does it actually do? It literally just sticks a logo on top of something that's already luxury. Because I'm sorry, but when you see a bag or when you see a pair of shoes or something, you don't go like, oh, that's luxury because it's... No, it's luxury because of the material and everything. And maybe something about rarity and something like that. But like all of that for a logo and people are paying thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, that's absolutely crazy.
Quality and on social pressures to conform. And as long as consumers keep associating worth with ownership of logos, the game will continue. But knowing the truth gives you power. The power to choose a different path. One that isn't driven by status, but by self-respect, intention, and financial peace of mind. This isn't just a story about fashion or handbags. This is a story about modern life, consumer culture, and the quiet desperation to be seen as enough in a world designed to make you feel like you never are.
Yeah.
Girl, China really said, baby girl, don't worry about them tariffs. We got you. At least the regular folks. Billionaires, good luck.
Swear to God, that's what China said. She said, don't worry, we got you. We're going to take care of you. There's not going to be the brand name, but we still got you. I thank God they did. Well, hopefully, guys, go check out those websites and see what's going on, see what happened. Let me know down in the comments below if one of you guys was actually able to buy one of those bags, and let me know how it felt. Let me know how it was, how the bag was, or how that new sneaker was from those websites. Let me know. And on that note, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for staying until the end, and don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out. Bam! And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.